Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker. Look here, I'm excited, I'm happy, and it's the day before my birthday. So yeah, I'm up. I'm happy. I am ecstatic about, the prospect of uh, living another year. I'm excited about my future. I'm excited about life. And I wanted to make sure that I share that with y'all. Right. Now, a lot of times, I know last year a lot of you a lot of you did send me some stuff from money for my birthday, which I appreciated that. And I really, really respect that. And if you want to do that again, it's going to be information in the description box on the show. You'll be able to see how you can do that. If you want to buy the book, the link is going to be there. The book is available at jtb3.org. Me and my son really put in some work on that. And real quick, the book is about a father and son that end up in opposite gangs and they become enemies. And I want to make sure that you understand that the lifestyle, the ideology of the lifestyle and the gang lifestyle, it would pit a father and son against each other. And I want you to understand the depths of that and how you can become trapped in that. Because it's not a game. It's not a joke. But this book is about that, and I hope you go check it out, right? But again, it's my birthday, and please, what I would ask you to do, let's break a record. Let's break a record. On my podcast, on my show on YouTube, I average, I don't know, anywhere from 10 to 25. Maybe, I think one time I hit 32 comments. I think one time, right? And I love it. And I appreciate every one of them. You know what I'm saying? When I call home, they tell me about it. But let's break a record. Let's break a record. I want to get over 100 people commenting on the show. Can we do that? Will y'all do that for me? Comment about the show. Tell me something, even if you just say happy birthday, Joe, whatever the case may be. But leave a comment in there. Say something to me. Go buy the book. Go buy the book and share all of these episodes all this week. Share all of these episodes in the future with all of your friends and family. Because I really want to help people understand this lifestyle and to deter them from it. I really do. Help get these subscription numbers up for me. Please, I'm asking, I'm begging you. Share it. You know what I'm saying? Tell people about me. Tell people about what we're trying to do, what we are trying to do, you and I. All of you, because you're family. You know that I've said that before and I mean that. So tell everybody what it is that we're trying to do. I really appreciate all of the support that I'm getting, you know what I'm saying? And I hope to continue to get it, right? I know that I will, but let me get to the episode. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about something that a lot of people overlook. When we get punished for something, when a person gets punished for something, I think we're not going far enough. You know what I'm saying? You have to have that immediate punishment to stop a person from doing what it is that they do, but you also have to have on the back end, you know what I'm saying, that opportunity to help that person understand why they made that decision. And a lot of times, I get it, you don't have time to do that because when a child is reaching for a light socket, you don't have time to analyze why they're doing it. You got to smack that hand and stop that person from doing it. That child doesn't understand. And it's the same way with adults. When an adult is doing something, you have to be concerned immediately with how is this going to affect other people? And let's stop this. You feel what I'm saying? And then we'll get to how this person is being affected by the actions that they take. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what this episode is going to be about. This is one guy. We go to school here, right? And this is one guy that agreed to follow the rules and he didn't follow the rules and he got booted out of the class. And when he got booted out of the class, we had a very intense conversation about what was done. Was it the right thing to do? Which I think it was the right thing to do, but I think it should have and could have gone further. And I hope that the opportunity presents itself for it to go further, right? But that's what I'm going to share with y'all in this episode today, right? So sit back, relax, and enjoy my pre-birthday show. You understand what I'm saying? Enjoy this, y'all. Now check me out, y'all. In this episode, I'm not going to use any names. I'm not going to say whether the person is male or female. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to give you any indication about anything. Only thing you will know is that the person that did the transgression, he's a man because we're in the male institution. So you know that. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm not going to go any further than that. I'm not even going to use fake names. I'm just going to say he, him, her, all of that. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm going to respect it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to respect these people's boundaries. I'm going to respect the class. I'm going to respect everybody involved in this process, right? But here's the thing. We go to school, right? Right now we're studying, and it's a philosophy class, the philosophy of old age. I'm loving this. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I'm about to be 56 years old tomorrow. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm getting there. You know what I mean? I'm getting there, right? And I'm seeing things from a very different perspective. I think it's something that is worthwhile. I think all of you should really look into that, and you know what I'm saying, and think about, what does it mean to be old? What does it mean to gain wisdom? What does it mean to see life from a different perspective and look back on your life? And have you done the things that you wanted to do? Do you appreciate the position that you're in as somebody that is older? You understand what I'm saying? If you are an older person, you know what I'm saying, numerically older. I have to say that because I've come to appreciate that understanding of what old is not as simple as we would like it to be. But anyway, there's this guy that was in the class, and he agreed to the rules. And the rules, one of the rules in the class is that we cannot have contact with any of the students that come in from the school, right? These students come from the school, the university, and participate in the class with us in prison. So you got your outside students and you got your inside students. And we got our professor, you understand? And our professor, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to say this about her because I've said it in other shows, you know what I'm saying? Dr. Anton is an amazing person. She has an insight and an intellect that I'm just being real. I don't know many people that can get on her level. She's funny, she's serious, and she's quick on her feet, and she's probably one of the most caring people that I've ever met in my life. That's just fact. And I'm not just saying it to get a good grade because I know I'm going to have to still work for it. So it is what it is. You feel what I'm saying? She's a phenomenal person. Period, point blank. And we all respect her. You know what I'm saying? We all respect her. Now, here's the thing. In every class, you're always going to have somebody that agrees to the rules, but then they don't want to play by the rules. And it's already understood if you ask somebody for information that you're not allowed to have, if it is reported, you're going to be dealt with. And if it's not reported and they find out however they found out later on, everybody that's involved is going to be dealt with. That's just how this works. You have to agree to the rules that you're going to have to go by to be in this class. And we all agree that we will not try to get any information to contact anybody during or after the class is over. Period. That's how we operate. You just have to agree to. And we also don't go by anybody's last name. Yes, I'm one of the exceptions because, of course, I have a podcast show. Okay, get past that. But other than that, no last names. No last names. We're not even allowed to put it on our papers. And I respect that. I agree with that. I agree with all of that. But here's the thing. This individual, he asked a student, it's not relevant whether it's male or female, but he asked a student for information so that somebody that was in a prior class could contact them. Now, I want to break that down for you because before we go further in this story, you have to understand that this person put thought into this story. Why do I say that? Because the framework is that we, those of us that are in the class, cannot ask for any information while we're in the class or after the class is over with. Period. Period. We can't have any contact with these people ever outside of this class. You feel me? Ever. It would put the whole program at risk, and we don't want to do that, right? Those of us that are going to follow the rules, we don't want to do that. So his story was that he wanted the information from this individual so that it could be given to another individual that wants to contact them. But what he didn't factor in, and this is what you do when you're trying to be deceitful and narcissistic at the same time, you know what I'm saying, coming from a narcissistic frame of mind, rather, you don't factor in the holes in your story. You understand? Because here's the thing. He didn't even realize that the person, the outside student that was in this class was not in the last class. You understand? And even if they were, it wouldn't have mattered. But that's one of the holes in the story, as far as what I come to understand, right? But that goes to the level of deception that he was trying to pull off. It's not for me. It's for somebody else. So I'm not breaking the rules because it's not for me. It's not for me. Now, once he got that information, what was he going to do with it? Was he going to be the one to contact that individual? Probably, because the whole point of the trying to get that information was to contact somebody outside of the framework, which they said it would be allowed in the class. We get to talk in the class. After that, it's over with. It's a very tricky thing, you know, because we form these bonds with these students to the degree that we can, but we can't pursue a friendship. You understand what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? We can't pursue the friendship. So you have to put that on hold. And it's a good reason why. Because you got to be careful. You got to be careful. And don't get me wrong, I had concerns about this individual before the class. And the reason that I didn't say anything is, one, I'm like, okay, let's be fair. We're in prison. I'm about change. I'm about growth. So I didn't want to do anything to get in front of this individual's opportunity to grow. But I'm not the only one of the inside students that had concerns about this individual. I'm not the only one. We all talked about it. And it was like, okay, we'll watch it. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what we were doing, but things happen. Things happen. But what I want to get to is that how the opportunity for real growth was missed, in my opinion. And I really don't like saying in my opinion because it's like I set my own standard when I say my opinion, right? But it is what it is, okay? When someone is punished, right, the consequence for his action was what? To be kicked out of the class. He cannot participate in this course again, right? Totally agree with that. Not to say that he may not, a year from now, 2 years from now, be allowed to do it. I don't know. But right now, the immediate consequence, you're done. You're out, right? Now, short term, that's the solution. Long term, for his benefit, not so much. Why do I say that? Because this individual, for whatever reason, felt like that the decision that he was making was the right one for him. He was coming from a place of total selfishness. Total selfishness. But a lot of us do that, don't we? Don't we? We rationalize and reason out that, well, I didn't mean any harm, or I was only going to do this or that, or all of these old type of things that we do when we try to justify our actions. But what we don't do is most people never have the opportunity to peel back the layers and try to figure out why they thought that was the best decision, when it was clear that he was being deceitful when you break down the story. So he knew he was being deceitful. The question is why? Now, let me tell you something, because Dr. Anton, she made a comment. I had to write this down, y'all. She made a comment in the class where she said that, why is doing wrong so valuable to some people? I want y'all to think about that. Why is doing wrong so valuable to some people? What is that attached to? Why would the husband lie to the wife or the wife lie to the husband? about something that's trivial. It's not ever okay, but just you know people. It could be about something about is any orange juice in the refrigerator, and if it's not, I need you to pick up some at the grocery store on your way home from work. You know it ain't none in the in the refrigerator, but you choose not to get any. Why? You just totally dismiss it. And then when you ask, you say, well, I didn't know what you were talking about. And you give some flim-flam reason or excuse as to why you didn't do it. But the whole time you knew you wasn't going to do it because something triggered in you that made you say, I'm not doing that. Or something triggers in you to make you say, I'm going to say this. And see, in this situation, the opportunity for me was missed. And it's not Dr. Anton's responsibility or the class's responsibility per se to do this, what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the system. I'm talking about those individuals that may be around this individual. And I'm talking about that individual. We have to take a hard look at ourselves sometimes and say, well, why did I do that? Why did I say that? I do that on a daily basis, y'all, because I want to be the best version of myself that I can be. I am committed to that. And sometimes it hurts. I'm going to tell you something. I was talking to my guy the other day, right? Look here, man. And I asked her some things about myself. I said, describe me to you. You know what I'm saying? Tell me what you think of me. You know what I'm saying? Give me a description of me. And she said a whole lot of good things and all this, and I'm goal-oriented, I'm focused, and I'm this, and I'm that, and I'm that, and I'm this, and all this, and that, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, this is all okay. But she said one thing. She said this one thing that kind of just made me, I just got sad. She said, sometimes, baby, you think you know more than you actually do. Now, come on now. That's a backhanded way of saying you think you're smarter than you really are. That's what that is. That's what that is. Now, don't get me twisted. I open the door to it. You know what I mean? Don't ask if you don't ask if you can't handle the question, the answer to the question now. Don't ask. So what I did though, like I always do, I shook it off, as Taylor Swift says. And I thought about that later on that day. I thought about that. And I'm like, do I sometimes think I'm smarter than what I actually am? And if I don't, then what am I doing to give her the impression that I am? Because if I'm giving her that impression, then other people must think the same thing of me. So I started to pay attention to things that I was saying in the following days, the things that I was doing, and all this and that, right? And I started to notice some things about myself. I started to notice some things. And one of those things was that I will chime in on conversations that I think I know better or more than the other person. I'll do that. And that could be not because I'm wrong, but that could be, you know what I'm saying, because I have this need to be heard. And I think I know better than the people that are actually talking. And that doesn't mean that I'm wrong. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm right. But it could give some people the impression that I think I know everything. And trust me, I know that I don't. I know that I don't. But I could be giving people that impression. You understand? So in that, I have to peel back the layers and try to work on myself. And that gave me the opportunity, me asking her that question gave me the opportunity to do that. And I feel better for it. But with this individual that I'm talking about, when does he get the opportunity to peel back those layers? Does he ask himself those questions and say, man, why did I do that? They told me not to do that. Why did I do that? And the reason that's important because he's going to go home one day. And when he goes home, if he has not worked on those things, the punishments that you get in prison when you get in trouble by putting somebody in the hole, writing them up and taking good days and all those things mean nothing. They mean nothing. Just like if you lie to your wife or you lie to your husband and y'all sit down and talk about it and you say, I'm sorry, and the forgiving and all of that stuff is done, and then the behavior doesn't change, it means nothing. It means nothing. But we don't go that extra step. We don't take that extra step to try to figure that out. We don't do that for ourselves, and the people around us don't do that, because what they do, they accept that the consequences that are attached to that, meaning him getting kicked out of the class, that's enough. He can't participate anymore. This is going to wake him up. But what if it doesn't? It's plenty evidence to show that punishing somebody for something doesn't necessarily change their behavior. There's plenty evidence to show that. The almost 70% recidivism rate should tell you that. Right? So why are we not trying to do more? Why are we not peeling back those layers to try to help someone become a better version of themselves? That's what I'm saying. I think that, and I hope that I get the opportunity to talk to him, because I think that an opportunity is being missed in this situation. Or it could be that I think I know everything, you know what I'm saying? But I don't. I know that I don't. I just wanted to share that because I think it's important that we really take a hard look at how we punish people in this country and what our expectations are from that punishment. We're thinking that, throw them in jail, throw them in prison, they'll come out changed. No, they won't. No, we won't. Not unless we get to the heart of the matter. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. One of the things that Dr. Anton loves to tell us, which is true, is that your personal recidivism rate drops. It's like 41 to 43% when you take a college course and when you're in prison. If you take a college course when you're in prison, your personal recidivism rate drops 40+%. That is great, right? Right? But let me pose this question to you. What if that college course is just the paint over the wall that has mold in it? You understand what I'm saying? I don't want anybody to get sad about what I'm saying. I think that education is wonderful. But if we're not dealing with those underlying issues, then all of the things that you're putting on top of those traumas, all of those layers that you're putting on that, that's, in my opinion, you're adding to your con. Because that's what this guy did. He was adding to his con. He agreed to follow the rules. He presented himself as somebody that wanted to be in his class. He presented himself, you know what I'm saying, as somebody that was going to be responsible and respecting the rules, right? But, if you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig, as some people say. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. It wasn't until, and look, I'm not trying to sound like I know everything, okay? But I do know what I know. I do know what I know. It wasn't until I started to focus on the things that would make me upset or that would trigger me, right? I was like, what is that? Why am I doing that? It wasn't until I started to focus on those things that I freed myself mentally from prison. And when I freed myself mentally from prison, my whole view of the world changed. It was almost like the sun came out. It was almost like the sun came out. And I was like, man, this is something. So I became thirsty for that examining and re-examining of me and who I am and what triggers me and what makes me think this and what makes me think that. And I do that every day. I evaluate and reevaluate my days and what I said and what I did. And I know that might be impossible for some people to do because you just don't have time to do it. You know, when you're in prison, you got a lot of free time. So I do have an advantage in that regard. But it's worth the effort. Examining who you are on a daily basis. Because I think that if this individual would have done that, he would have been able to participate and continue to thrive in this class. But instead, he's going to be missing an opportunity, man, that he could reduce his personal recidivism rate by 40+%. All because he didn't understand why he wanted to be slick. So think about that, y'all. Think about that, y'all. I'm going to wrap this up. Again, like I said before, today is the day before my birthday. Hit me up in the comment section. We're trying to break some records, y'all. Share the show and all of the shows with all your friends and family. Tell them about me. Let's get these numbers up. I want to get up into the subscription rate. I want some zeros behind on that subscription thing. I want to get 10,000, 100,000 people subscribe to the show, listening every day like all the rest of you out there, right? I want you to do that. I want you to help me do that. I want you to help me sell as many books as we can because I want the message out there that there is hope. There is hope for every one of us if we take the time and we take the effort. But we got to keep it real with ourselves and those around us. That's what we have to do, right? And I know y'all got my back. I know y'all do, fam. I know y'all got my back. I appreciate every one of y'all. I love you. I really do. You understand? I don't say that lightly. I don't say that lightly. Happy birthday to me day before. You feel what I'm saying? This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.